Marty. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. Good morning from Australia and hello and good evening to everyone who has joined us. It's really great to see you all here, and I know that, time is really precious, so we appreciate the time that you've taken to come along to a brand new show that I don't even know about. So it's going to be exciting. So thank you, Chris, for welcoming me and to everyone else today. We have a special guest, Dave Angelic, who is going to be our presenter today. Dave, we really appreciate you being here. We're looking forward to hearing your presentation, and we again welcome everyone. And if you'd just like to make sure that you're muted, please be aware we are recorded. If you do want to go to the bathroom, please make sure that you turn your camera off. And yeah, we'll hand it over to you, Dave. Do you need to share screen, Dave, or?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Before you do that, David, before you do that, I would like to see a surprise guest on here. I want to call him out. Dan Street showed up because he must got some jokes tonight. So Dan, welcome. Welcome to the party house, buddy.
No, I am the joke,
Welcome,
I was just looking through the webinars, and I'm sorry I've missed this in the past, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Here to help in any way I can.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it, buddy.
Thank you. So Dave needs to have co-host, please, Chris.
Marty. I love working Marty, boy. It works me all day.
Let's see if I can do it. No.
He'll get it. I think I can see him moving.
Yeah.
There you go, David. Thank you, Marty.
Okay, let's see what I can find here. Okay. Are we ready to go?
We're ready when you are, Dave.
Okay. Howdy, folks. My name's Dave Angelic, not Dave Arquette. Thank you, Chris, for that. Anyway, we don't quite look the same, but I'm coming to you today from Medicine Hat, Alberta, Canada, and it is indeed my pleasure to present to you a brand new amazing opportunity for motivational and public speakers, along with entertainers and comedians. You are going to want to watch this. Are you looking for a way with your speeches to make extra money? Have you been doing social media, but just getting tired of it? Has the pandemic slowed down your speaking events? Are you feeling the crunch and thinking, is it really worth it? All you want to do is get your message out and get it heard. You just want to motivate, speak, and have a good time. Guess what? You are not alone. Have you ever wondered what it would be like just to speak and not have to worry about all the financing, etc.? Not worrying about trying to build a fan base? Not worrying about how you are going to get gas for the next gig? Not worrying about how to finance the next big project? Not worrying if you have a big live audience at your next show? Well, have I got some awesome news for you today? What if there was a real company licensed and registered in 212 countries in the world? What if their products allowed you to have your own broadcast around the world? What if this company did all the work for you, did all the fan base building, did all the selling of your digital speeches, sold all your merchandise, did everything for you, 100% of the work, and then paid you the money for doing it? What if it provided you with time freedom and abundance living? What if it provided you and your family with generational wealth? Sorry, I got to move my screen around here. Sorry about that. What if it even made money for you while you were sleeping? You say, is there such a company? What is the name of the company? Yes, there is. And this company is OnPassive. We are a global IT company driven by the latest artificial intelligence and machine learning technology. OnPassive is not an MLM or a network marketing company. It is licensed and registered in 212 countries around the world. OnPassive is currently valued at an amazing 5.5 billion US dollars, which qualifies us as a unicorn company. In business terms, a unicorn company is usually a startup tech company which achieves more than $1 billion in revenue in their first 10 years of business, doing something that has never been done before. OnPassive will achieve this status shortly after our launch. We already have over 800,000 founding members, and they are our customers as well, who saw the vision, and we are growing by thousands of founding members each day. Actually, as of today, I believe we're around 850,000 members, and that's absolutely amazing. The real gem of OnPassive is the CEO, Mr. Ash Mufareh. Yes, he is brilliant. Yes, he went to Harvard. Yes, he has figured out the online world. And yes, he has over 20 years experience. But did you know he has a smile the size of Texas and a heart to help people that is even bigger than that? Ash is simply amazing, and he wants to help you in the online world. OnPassive is changing the world one person at a time, starting with Ash Mufareh. And that's a quote from my friend, the great Milo Davis. Ash absolutely is a true leader. He's very approachable, has great energy, he's friendly, he's smart as a whip, he's funny with a great sense of humor. And best of all, Ash wants patient team members to win big with him. So I have a question. Do you have what it takes to join him? Mr. Ash Mufareh had a vision to use the internet to change the world since July of 2018. He wants to contribute by turning poverty into prosperity all around the globe. He has a great big heart for humanity. OnPassive is hiring new staff every day. Quite simply, our tech team is the best of the best in the industry. We will have around 1,000 employees at the time of our launch. OnPassive is the correction to the corruption. OnPassive also has a full-fledged legal department registered and compliant in the 212 countries we serve. This might not seem like a big deal, but it is absolutely a great big deal. OnPassive executive headquarters in America are in Orlando, Florida. OnPassive operational headquarters in Hyderabad High-Tech City, also known as the Silicon Valley of India, and it's home to 600 to 700 OnPassive programmers, some of the best in the world. So what products and services does OnPassive offer? If you take a look here, this is our product portfolio for 2021, which comprises of 20 platforms, including Academy, OMail, OPost, OCapture, OVirtual, OBless, OConnect, OWallet, OCreate, ODit, OShop, OCounting, ONet, OChat, OLead, OStaff, OTrim, OTracker, OPeer, and ODomain. OnPassive will appeal to everyone: motivational speakers, public speakers, entertainers, comedians, you name it, and there is a way OnPassive can help you. Allow OnPassive to put fans in the seats. Millions of fans around the world will not have access to your material. Again, you don't want to miss out on OnPassive and this incredible opportunity, as this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Remember, the early bird gets the worm. Currently, we are in pre-launch. Next will be our beta testing during soft launch. Finally, we will have the official launch, which is our hard launch to the public, once the OnPassive tech and legal team gives the green light for 2021. The company will drive targeted traffic to your website, which will build your business and fan base for you, and you will never have to advertise ever. Warren Buffett said, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, You will work until you die. So folks, please, let's all earn money while we sleep. OnPassive is offering you exactly that. Here is a recap of our 20 products. OnPassive, acronym CATMO, stands for C, Complete Digital Online Solution. A for Automatic Artificial Intelligence. T for Targeted Traffic. M for Money, Time Freedom, and Abundance Living. O for OnPassive. Generational wealth, residual income, sales funnels, landing pages, autoresponders, and much, much more will be brought to you by OnPassive. OnPassive is plug and play, all done for you. OnPassive will build new sales funnels for you each day using artificial intelligence. There's no recruiting ever. Software upgrades are always free. We have a great community to get you started and help you along the way. If you are in it, quite simply, you will win. Secure your founding member position with OnPassive for just $97 US plus a $5 credit card or debit card fee. We highly recommend that you utilize the card option as you will get activated immediately. The question now is not can you afford it, but can you afford to be without it? Did you realize as of January 2021, there were 4.6 billion active internet users worldwide, just 95.5% of the global population. Of this total, 92.6% or 4.32 billion access the internet via mobile. This means there is 40% of people in the world who have no access to the internet. Ever thought what will happen when the internet is available to 100% of the world? And they have the ability to listen over the web? Imagine when everyone in the world will have access to the internet. Will you offer them a chance to listen to you over the internet? Do you have what it takes to be the next overnight sensation? When you get the picture, wow. OnPassive is the company that will build your customer base for you and allow you to be heard. This will be life-changing. Once the soft launch starts, will we have a price increase? At this time, we don't know that. Founders will be doing beta testing on the product. We will get to do a test run on all of them. We're going to take them and see if we can break them, but best of all, we're going to see that everything works out right. This is when the magic starts to happen. The company begins to build your customer base for you. You begin to fall in love with all the new products that you have. Once the soft launch starts, OnPassive will run massive marketing campaigns using artificial intelligence and machine learning to get customers signed up in your business. These customers are actively looking for the products and services OnPassive and you have to offer. The day the public launch starts, no more founders positions will be offered ever for any amount of money. Customers and resellers come on board. If you're a founder, you smile and activate your founder's old wallet because you love them apples and apples equals dollars. Well, the non-founders, they're not going to be very happy just because they did not become a founder. OnPassive has a unique patented pay plan. We all get paid in real time in any currency we choose, including crypto, through our World Bank wallet. Founders will pay a one-time subscription, about $250 to activate their account as customers and resellers. We pay once out of pocket, and then after that, the subscriptions come out of profit. This means you never need to worry about the monthly subscriptions because the company has a system that allows them to deduct the next month's subscription from our commissions earned from customers they place under us. And this is absolutely unheard of. We will have two wallets, a funding and an O wallet. Before payout of commissions, founders and customers will have to complete a KYC or Know Your Customer. This is ensuring that you have the correct identity, and there will be various ID forms. One could be a passport number as well as facial recognition will be required to activate your O wallet. This is where commissions will be paid out in real time. OnPassive will have every product, tool, and service you will ever need to be a success in business, online or offline. It's all done for you. Set it and forget it, just like a self-driving Tesla car. And we are going to build wealth. Earn residual income for life, which keeps growing day after day, week after week, month after month, and year after year. So create a family dynasty for generations to come and leave a legacy you can be proud of. I recommend you thank the person who told you about this incredible opportunity and get back with that person and register using their link to become a founder with OnPassive, and please do it today. It is a decision you will never forget or regret. So go founders. Remember, if you are in it, you will win. I thank you for your time and attention, and I invite you to visit onpassive.com to review our 20 products that we have coming out in the very near future. For the Julie and Milo Show, I'm Dave Angelic. We'll see you at the top. Have yourself a great day.
Nice
Thank
job,
you,
Dave.
Dave.
Nice job, Dave.
Thank you.
Soon as he turns that share off. Everyone want to unmute, give Dave a nice round of applause, please.
Hey, David, awesome.
Hey.
All right.
Thank you.
Before we get going here, I would like to know if there's anyone, guests, if you're on here, if you have any questions. Not only do I have Marty DeGarmo, but I have the main man behind OnPassive Nation, Dan Street here. Myself, Narelle, everyone on here can answer questions. But if you have a question to any guest on here, you can either say it on camera or you can put it in the chat. We'll try to keep an eyeball on that chat. Does anyone have any questions? If you do have a question through this show, just pop them in the chat or raise your hand and we will gladly answer those questions for you. You see any questions in there, Narelle?
No, just one lady telling you that not everything tastes like chicken.
Ain't that the truth? But all right, so Narelle doesn't even know what I'm going to do tonight. As most of you know, myself and Narelle never prepare for this show. We just figured we'd wing it. So last night I had the privilege to host Admira Walker's show in the Caribbean because her husband's birthday. So I tried something a little different. And Marty was asking me tonight what I was going to do. And I said that what I was going to do, and he actually gave me a better idea, which I thought was pretty interesting. And I think this will help people to approach maybe a stranger. So what we're going to do tonight, and Narelle doesn't even know, is I'm going to pick, now you could choose to leave your camera on or off. Everyone is going to have a chance to ask a person a different question. So in other words, I might ask Dan Street a question, just one question. Dan will give his answer. Keep the questions clean. Don't be like me. Keep them. They don't have to be about passive. If you want to ask Dan a question about when he started in passive, stuff like that, yeah. But once I ask Dan that question, he answers if he chooses to. Dan is going to pick anyone on this panel. This way it's going to we're going to let everyone kind of talk and get in there. It'll also make you feel a little more comfortable about how to approach people in a silly way. So I guess ladies first, Narelle, I'm actually going to let you start. Does everyone understand that, how we're going to do this tonight? It's kind of silly, but hey, we sit on the same webinars, all the time.
Let me just say, yeah, yesterday when you hosted Admira's Caribbean webinar, it was really fantastic to be able to sort of spotlight Cynthia. But I think taking it that step further and making it about each and every one of us, we see each other, we chat a little bit, but it's nice to actually sort of just get to know you a little bit more. I think, it's one of those things, if we can't meet up, which very hard to meet up in Australia when there's thousands of kilometers between us. So yeah, I think it's really important that we get to know each other. So I'm going to ask a question, obviously, or are you asking the question, Chris? Can you give me a minute to think of something?
All right, I'll go first then. I'll go first. And I'm gonna call Dan Street because he's new to the show. We got to break him in the right way. My question to you, Dan, is how did OnPassive Nation come to be?
Wow, that's a good one. No, OnPassive Nation was something that evolved over a period of time with Marty, Mike, and I, and it started with Mike and Marty had worked together for quite some time, and Mike and I have lived in Colorado and been friends for 50 years. We went to high school together, and so we were always good friends and got involved in a few other opportunities together. And then Mike introduced me to Marty, and I found out what an unbelievable marketer Marty was and his talent. We appreciated the fact that Mike could do amazing videos, and I was kind of in the back, paying for some ads and doing some writing and that type of thing. And so we would do some marketing with autoresponders, and I'd be responsible for writing a lot of the autoresponders. So we made a really good team, and we became very good friends, and we did a lot of trial and error, and a lot of trial and error were with companies, as we've all experienced, were with companies that failed. And when we got a hold of OnPassive, we were able to more or less bring the talents that we already had out and make them work for other people. And so that's the main thing, is that we really wanted to bring other people along with us that we'd never been able to do in other opportunities. And we just made a great team, and we've just never looked back. So that's how it started, and it's just the beginning.
Wow, great answer, Dan. Hey, Marty, help me with that question, by the way. All right, Dan, now you could pick anyone on the panel you want and ask any question you want. It doesn't matter.
Wow. Let's see. Well, there's Pam Turner. Look at Pam Turner over there. Yeah. Pam's great. She hosts Robin's show Robin's webinar on Thursdays, and she just does an outstanding job. And I'd like to ask you a question. How did you and Robin get together and do such a wonderful job together? You two are amazing.
Oh, wow. Wow. Thank you so much, Dan. That is an excellent question. Robin and I actually met through another friend of ours, Rindy Dawson Millenbach. And we were all in another venture together. And we had actually met up with Robin Rindy. I've known Rindy since 1995, I guess, about then. And so Rindy introduced me to Robin, and we went out to lunch one day, met up, and went to North York and had lunch together. So I met Robin physically about, 3 or 4 years ago. And then when Robin sent me, she sent private messages and said, does anybody want to increase their marketing in the business that we were already in? And she said, just send me an email, just send me a message. So I did. And I was the only one who did out of her group of friends. And she says, oh, Pam, I'm so glad you contacted me. And it was OnPassive, and I paid my $97. And it's made a tighter bond actually between all three of us. We call ourselves the three girly musketeers, but like privately, we don't get all crazy about it like boys do. But yeah, like the three of us have kind of come a few miles together in our ventures. And Robin's she's so knowledgeable and she's so well spoken. And if you don't understand, she'll keep going until you do. Right? She'll kick it right into your butt. But she's a beautiful woman inside and out. And we've also met her sister Simone, and she's also a beautiful woman. And they became my sisters like instantly. And it was funny, is the two of them are like my sister and I, quite. One's a marshmallow, one's a toughie, and but yeah, a beautiful lady. Thank you very much for asking, Dan. And now is it I'm on the hook? I've got to ask a question?
Anyone
Yes.
you want, anyone you want.
All right. Thank you for asking, Dan. That was a good question. I liked it. Okay, I'm gonna look around at some of these people that I haven't seen faces on for a while, or I mean, haven't heard voices from. Sometimes they'll say, oh goodness. I would love to ask a friend of mine something, but I know she will not talk. Cheryl, will you talk to us? Would you unmute your mic and just say yes or no? She won't. Okay, let's go a different route here. I am going to ask, oh, who have we got? Oh, this is awkward. I think it's Narelle's turn. Can I come back? I have to think of this for a minute. Narelle, your turn. Thanks.
Thank you, Pam. And yes, it's a little bit sort of putting us on the spot. What do we ask people and what do we want to know about people, you know? So I actually see Ron Holbert just sitting there thinking of a question and thinking of a question. But Ron, I want to ask you, you've been in the police force, correct? Yes. So, and I know you were there for quite some years, and you would have seen things change a bit, but how do you feel that being where you are now with OnPassive, could that help in any way with the police force?
Yeah.
Cool. Sorry, Ron, is that you background?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I just wanted to make sure it was you, so didn't want to interrupt. Yeah, Ron, so a little bit about yourself, you know, like you said, you know, you've been in the police force. I'm sure you saw 100 different million things that weren't always correct, and I'm sure you met some characters along the way. But yeah, a little bit about, you know, what you saw in OnPassive, but because I know that once I heard you say something about listening to Ashma Farah, you know, some of those experiences that you have with actually reading people, I think that's really important for others to see and hear.
Sure. Well, like you said, I was in law enforcement for about 18 and a half years. And during that time, you take a lot of schools, of course, a lot of training, and you learn how to read people from their eye movements, where they twitch, or yeah, there you go, Ari. Body language. There's all kinds of things to look for, and many more than I have time to name, that's for sure. But that's what really kind of convinced me after listening to Mike Ellis and Michael Williams, listening to Ash on a couple of webinars, and watching him talk. And when he would state something, you could tell that he was very sincere, and you could really tell that it was coming from his heart. And I was fortunate enough to talk to him on the phone a couple of times. And even on the phone, he's a good interrogator, I can tell you that. Because when you try to pin him in a couple of things, he turns it right around on you, okay, and begins interviewing you. So he's very good at that art. But with OnPassive and law enforcement, they could probably save a huge amount of money and cut down on their training staff by using Academy. Because, you know, we have a lot of training classes on domestic violence, investigative scenes, different scenes like murder, stabbings, assaults, batteries. And instead of having so many instructors in the training unit, they could cut down their instructors, save money, and have just a couple of instructors, using Academy, using that platform and putting their lessons plan in it and just doing it from there. And they could also put more officers on the road because they'd free up a large training staff that they have. So I think OnPassive would be the biggest thing that any police force could use. I'm trying to think of another O-Tracker. Okay, they could probably use O-Tracker very well, especially if they're searching for somebody through their computer crime section. Okay, and they're trying to they could set up a geo track area on what they're looking at and probably pin down some of these IP addresses on the pedophiles, that are on the internet, trying to hook in our kids. And I think that also be a very, very good program for any police agency that I could think of. But it's hard to explain or have them accept OnPassive. Okay, because of course cops are skeptic. I'm a big skeptic, and once you start talking about it, man, they just shut you right off. It's one of them MLM pyramid things, Ponzi schemes. I can't believe you're involved in that. And I said, okay, well, the stakes will be on me and your squad very soon. So, and they just kind of look at you dumbfounded, like, well, how are you going to do that? I says, because while you're making your $48,000 a year, putting on that 25 extra pounds of belt and equipment and bulletproof vest, okay, you're really missing the boat, okay? Because I'm going to sit back looking at my phone or looking at my computer and counting my money. And the bad thing about it is you could be beside me, okay, and we could all share. There's almost 2,000 employees in the Orange County Sheriff's Office here in Florida. Can you imagine the network they could have just with that, and the network they could have sharing it with other agencies? It would be astronomical. But of course, getting them to open their minds up and visualize something is a very, very hard thing to do. And, yes.
Thank you. I just want to take it back quickly to the way that you're able to read people's faces. And I think everybody here can take a little bit away from that. The thing is, Ron is saying that, with his ability, with the time that he had in the police force, the way that they have to deal with criminals, and they're not all criminals, but, those people who are, going against the law, and how they read their body language. Now, here is a gentleman stepping up and saying, I saw Ashma Farah. I'm a skeptic, but I watched his body language. I listened to his words, and this is what I found. So let's take a little bit of that and take it away with us, knowing that somebody today has said, this is how I found Ashma Farah and his body language. And I think that's really important. We can usually tell if it's our friends or families, the lights are on, but nobody's home. They switched off as soon as you said anything about business. And I think you're right, Ron. It is hard to talk to a lot of people because of that falseness around online businesses, basically all of them being scams. And even in our presentations, we say that 97% of scams out there online. So of course, people are going to be skeptical. Of course, they're going to be wondering about, what. So their mind's not even in the same thing. I think if we become personal, a little bit chatty first before we approach people, then we build that relationship, which I think is really important. Now, you can't do that with everybody, but even just somebody on the street or somebody in a shop saying, how are you going, and start a chat, because very few people these days actually care about or care enough to actually ask another person how they're going. When you go to the supermarket, do you say hello? Do you smile? Do you say, how's your day been? Because they're just waiting for you to come along and say that. And you can, sorry.
Laurel, I only have two of the people that I used to work with as police officers in my group,
Yeah,
and they're both retired.
yeah,
Okay, and the only way I got through to them is, hey, are you making enough in retirement?
yeah,
Because what I was going to say too is you have to realize these cops in Orange County, okay, are only making like anywhere from $43,000 to $55,000 a year, putting their life on the line. Okay, not knowing if they're going to go home at night.
yeah.
And for $350, they could do what we're doing.
That's right.
All right, just by paying out $97. The one guy I had is a retired. He was a police officer with me, but he's also a retired senior chief out of the Navy, and he was a hard nut to crack. And I tell you, the only reason I got him is because I do these diamond runs, and I was in the hospital, so he had to do a lot of diamond runs for me to fill in. So finally, after pounding him and pounding him and pounding him, I said, "Look, I just made you a lot of money being in the hospital. Least you can do is spend $100 and help your brother out." All right, give me the number. So
Yeah.
they're very hard to get in.
They are, and thank you for sharing that with us today. I think it's really important that we see different sides of people and how we can take a little bit from what each person says. So I'm going to thank you, Ron, and I'm going
Thank you.
back over to Pam if Pam is ready to ask a question.
I do. I'm so ready. I just hope this person will talk. I was looking through the names and a really special name popped out at me. Her name, and I'll tell you why. My mother-in-law's name was Betty, and my
Okay.
grandson's name is Hayden. Betty Hayden, will you come and unmute your mic and talk to us? I hope she's still here. I saw her name earlier. Now I don't see it.
I don't see it in the panelists.
Oh, darn. She was there, and it's such a pretty name.
She knew you were going to call her out, love.
Maybe. I didn't even give her a hint.
That's strike two, Pam.
Oh,
Pam. All right.
You keep looking, Pam. We'll come back to you.
that's
We'll go
okay.
back to Ron. Go back to Ron now. Ron, you
I have
asked
a
the
second person in mind, though. I was
Oh,
prepared
okay.
for this.
Okay, go ahead, Pam. My goodness. Woo.
Hey,
This
Chris,
time
don't
I'm
get
ready.
me
I wasn't
involved in
ready
this, Chris.
morning.
Ask a question yet, Ron.
So, Christine
about it.
Dodds. Is Christine Dodds still here?
Nope, not on the panel, unless it's a K.
Aw,
Hey, is there a doctor in here that has eyeglasses for Pam?
oh, look, Christina
Yeah, figures,
Dodds.
Pam, you'd find somebody who wasn't even on here.
Yeah.
There she is. So, Christine, she's just unmuted. She's in Kansas. Look, she's right there. Christina, hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Hi,
Welcome.
Christina.
Okay, Christina, the reason I picked you is just because I like your name too. I like names and because you're in Kansas. So when did you join? When did you become a founder? And go ahead.
July of this year.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Well, congratulations. I picked a good person.
Thank you.
And what made you say yes? Like, it's kind of like, has the light bulb gone off, or are you still kind of like, are you good with it? Or how's it going?
Um,
I know that's a crazy question, isn't it? I'm really good at this.
My son brought me in. I trust my son, and I'm following his lead. So I'm learning from the webinars, and I'm learning because I'm an ex-cook. I know nothing about AIT. I'm learning new lingos. I think it's great. It touches my heart.
That's really awesome. You know what? Excellent answer. And you're still new enough that it maybe hasn't really clicked in completely yet. But you know what? You're in the right place. And you have just found a whole new family, as well as your son, obviously. And he found us first, so obviously. But yeah, stick with us. You're going to learn a lot. And just know you're loved. We love you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pam. Thank you, Christina. Now, Chris, do you want to go back to Ron asking a question to someone? Christina, we'll come back to you.
What's that,
Question-
Ron? Do you have a question yet, Ron?
Do I have a question?
Yeah, for anybody?
For anyone on the,
You know what? Let's see.
Because Pam threw us way off now.
Yeah, I know, It's them Miller
we're all
girls.
back to front now. Thanks, Ben.
Let's
We're
go
gonna
to
come
my
back to you, Christina.
let's go to my co-host, Len Nakamoto. Okay. I'd like to hear what turned her light bulb on for OnPassive. And are you originally were you born and raised in Hawaii, or did you migrate there from somewhere else? And what do you look forward to?
Hey, that's 3 questions. That's cheating.
Yep. And you know what? I get 3 answers.
Okay. So you have to remind me what the questions are. I'm old. I'm an old lady.
You ain't
So
as old as I am, darling.
Almost. Same generation as you. Oh yeah, I was born on the big island. It's called Hawaii, and it's in the state of Hawaii. And I was raised in the country in Kona. We had a coffee farm. If any of you have had Kona coffee, you coffee lovers have probably heard of Kona coffee. And we also had macadamia nuts. Have you eaten macadamia nuts? They're yummy. Yeah. So I was raised in a very country life. And when I graduated from high school, I decided I better go to college. And the main university is in Hawaii, Oahu, the main island. So I moved to Oahu and I got my bachelor's and my master's there. And I ended up staying there because there's a lot more career opportunities on the main island. And I stayed there until 2017, I believe. And that's when I retired. After working for over 40 years, it was time to retire and moved here to Florida, where I reside. I live in St. Petersburg. But when I retired, it's kind of like you want to do something with your life, right? You don't want to just veg. So this is how I came upon online businesses. And I dabbled here and there in various things. Never successful in any of them. And my husband often reminds me that I didn't make any money. I'm in denial because I figured I made something, but evidently I didn't. But I happened to fall upon OnPassive. An online friend mentioned it to me and said, come on, join. And I said, no. So it took a while for me to actually join. And even then, I did absolutely nothing. Like, I don't know if any of you were the same as me, where, I don't know, I liked the business, but I just sat and I wasn't engaged at all. So it took me about a year for the light bulb to go on. But when it did, the light bulb was very bright. And I just dove in and put my heart and soul into OnPassive, got to know the people. And that's what's special about OnPassive. Besides the business itself in Ashmafara, they're special. But the people, right? The founders, fellow founders, I've made great friendships, nice relationships. I'm very grateful that I saw the light, before it was too late. And I love the relationships I have with all of you here. I know many of you actually, and I think these are going to be lifelong friendships. And I do know that we're going to meet in person, and that's exciting. When we finally have meetups, can you imagine seeing each other, giving each other hugs? It's going to be so exciting. So I'm really excited about that. Okay.
Thank you,
Am I
Lynn.
done? I'm done. Thank you.
Wonderful.
All right, we're out of whack. Hold on, we're out of whack here. So Lynn, hold that. I want to go back to Christina because she's new, but save your question, Lynn. Christina, would you like to ask anyone a question? Christina. We scared her off already. Christina, you still there?
The name's there.
Yeah, I don't see her turning the mic off. All right, we'll come back to you, Christina. Lynn, go ahead, ask your question. I apologize. Try to get it back in sync.
Wasn't that a band, in sync?
Yeah. That was Marty's era. Lynn, you're muted, by the way.
Okay, I didn't think of a question yet, so go to the next person and I'll think of something in a second.
Christine, are you back on yet? Okay, try to think of your questions. So let's go to, I want to pick someone different that I haven't really ever talked to.
There's Christina, Chris.
Oh, Christina, thank goodness. Christina, do you have a question you want to ask anybody?
Not right this, I just need to listen and learn.
Okay, well, you can ask a question and you might get educated on your answer. How's that? What's something that you want to know about OnPassive that maybe you don't know or understand? How's that one?
On passive, I understand the sharing part to be sharing the right proper stuff and the proper way to do that. I have already sent in instructions to my leader for me to do that. So I'm just kind of waiting for him to get back with me.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
Well,
I thought of a question.
Thank you,
ahead.
Christina.
Oh, sorry, Christina, are you done talking?
I am.
And Christina, reach out to anyone if you ever feel like come onto the webinars, just sort of plug in a little bit because a lot of the questions get answered in our Q&As when we have our corporate founders only or the guests, if you have guests that you'd like to bring along. So, just plug in, have a look at your videos, go and check out Mike Ellis and the videos on YouTube with Michael Williams and OnPassive Nation and things like that, because that helps you as well to sort of establish what it is that you're actually in, because it is very big. So I just wanted to share that. So we can take it to you now, Lynn.
Okay, my question is for Zoran. Zoran, who I've never spoken with before. Is he on the panel? You see him? He was just there.
I can't see him now on the panel, but
He just made a comment.
He did?
Yeah, he was just on here. Z-Man, you on here?
I just wanted to ask him a question. I thought of something. Did he
are you
disappear?
there, Zoran?
3
Zoran?
minutes ago, he just made a comment.
He got out of here while the getting was good to go, or the good to get,
Oh.
however that saying goes.
Oh, okay. Well, that question was specifically for him.
Hmm.
Well, Zoran,
Zoran?
I don't think I'm.
I can't
No.
see him here, Lynn. So
All
do you
right.
want to have another think of a question for somebody else?
Okay. Okay, my question is for Marcy. Himabu. Marcienne. Hi,
Oh, yes.
Marcy. Hi, so glad you're here.
Oh, thank you so much. You don't have to see my face very well because I'm driving and it's very dark outside. So that's why you can't see my face very well.
It's okay. We hear your voice. That's
Thank
great.
you.
So my question is, tell me a short little story about growing up in Cameroon, as you would say, without rolling R. A little short story, because you're a good storyteller.
Nah, I mean, I didn't expect you to ask me that because you know my story will not be short as you think. Yeah.
A mini
Well,
story.
It is very good because being an OnPassive, each of every one of us, we have a very short story and sometimes a very long one. So I grew up in Cameroon, as you said, and I grew up from a very poor family. And when I mean poor family, I'm not talking about any kind of poor. I mean the family that we can live with a little one like less than $2 for a week. And we have to live with that. So our mom was like, she been a farmer. She have to go to the farm and do her best to feed us with any little thing that she have. We didn't even have a firewood to cook. So coming from school, I have to go around the neighborhood and start picking some little firewood and put it in a little basket to bring home. Sometimes for us to have a food with no oil and with no salt, anything that we can have. So that's one of the main reasons OnPassive become like a thing for me that I don't have to go to sleep. I have to do anything on my power to let all my people around the world know that we have something that is going to take us out from that poverty that we grow up with. I mean, we cannot do much, but with OnPassive, we will do a lot. And we have to start from Mr. Ash Mufara that he's extended his hand to us. And from us now, we have to extend our hand to other people. It means what? We just have to share, and spread the news. And I know by doing that, we will come out and change my villages, change my country, change my family, and change the world. So that's the little of my pity story that I can tell you in a little way. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Marcy.
Marcian.
You always inspire me. Thank you so much, Marcian.
You're welcome.
Beautiful. So beautiful, the words that you speak. So thank you so much for sharing. Hey, Chris, I noticed that, as soon as you said you're going to call people out, most people put their pictures up thinking that they're not going to get called. So do you have somebody in mind that you would like to call out?
Who was the last one that just talked? Marcian?
Marcian? Yeah.
Marcian's got to ask somebody a question. You got to follow the pattern.
Follow the pattern. Marcian, did you hear that?
Yes, I'm listening. Yeah. I'm sorry, I have muted my phone because I didn't want to be making noise driving.
Remember,
would you like to ask a question to somebody?
It does not have to be about OnPassive. You can ask someone anything as long as it's not, stupid or dirty.
How many times they shower a day,
Okay. Now I would like to do that. Let me look at a little bit who to ask my question. And okay, let me pick somebody that usually don't talk too much, and we want them to say something.
Well, that ain't Marty DeGarmo. That's
I was going to say that won't be you, Chris.
No.
That's the person usually don't talk too much, but is always talking. And I don't want him to say something today, but I'm going to pick on one of my friends. I always see her. She comes to webinar. She's very quiet. She always greet people writing on the chat, and she doesn't say nothing later on. And the person I'm going to pick up now is Gemma Mason. Gemma, I'm going to ask you a question. Please, if you are listening, can you unmute?
Come on, Gemma, you can do it.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Hey, Gemma,
Gemma.
how are you?
I'm trying my best. I'm not in my best yet, but I'm trying my best for you all, my family OnPassive. Thank you.
Yes, I know. That's why I pick on you. I know that you are doing a lot of effort to be on the webinar now, just like I'm doing all. But remember, this is our family, and this is where we can feel free to be with our people and say things that will make us be laughing, be happy. I know you cannot be happy the way you wanted it now, but remember that we are all in the same boat, and if one person is sad, everybody is sad. So I just want you to take this opportunity to just say something. Just say something. I'm not asking you a question. I just want you to give us something that will make you be happy tonight. That's it.
Oh, wow. This is my great opportunity to thank you all for the prayers and the support and everything. I don't know how to say it in words. I'm only good in sharing. My son here is teaching me how to talk. Sorry guys, this is not my first language to talk, but I'm trying my best. I've known OnPassive since February 12. I joined. And since then, I really put my soul and heart in it. I'm trying my best to share, even though my family don't believe me. I have some issues and everything, but I have to stand my belief. And thank you guys for this opportunity to talk. One day I will tell you everything, my story. Thank you, Martian. Thank you for this opportunity.
Beautiful,
you,
Gemma. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Gemma. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. That was a good one. Thank you.
Glad to have. Gemma, do you have a question for somebody tonight? If you'd like to ask somebody a question that's on the panel before you go.
A question, yeah. Not really. I just
Anything you want, Gemma, ask anybody, anything you want, Gemma. Any
Anybody,
question you
anything.
want.
Okay, Leader Council Chris Johnson.
Okay. Go ahead.
You have a big heart.
Well, thank you, Gemma.
How can we help the people around us one day if we make it? That's all.
Oh, bless.
Oh, bless, yes.
Oh, bless, Gemma.
Yes. Thank you for that.
You got it, young
Looking
lady.
forward to it.
Once again,
Thank
sorry
you
about
all.
your father, Gemma.
Thank you, Gemma. What a beautiful platform this will be. It will help so many in our world, and it will certainly bring about that ripple effect to bring that balance back to humanity. So thank you, Gemma, for coming on today. I know that it can be difficult sometimes with internet as well, but we appreciate your sharing of your words. So Chris, your turn. Back to you.
Well,
I see a lady's hands up, but
I
I'm
know,
not quite sure.
Judith, hold on. I want to get I promised some guy I would ask him some fishing questions. So I'm going to go back to the presenter, and then maybe David can ask you a question, Judith. But David, what is the biggest freshwater fish you have ever caught, and what lake was it in?
Let me see, freshwater. It would have been a northern pike in Jan Lake, Saskatchewan. There was probably 17 pounds.
Oof. What about length?
Holy crap.
Oh, that. Gee whiz, I didn't measure it because I let it go. So.
Catch and release, good.
Yeah,
Did
no,
you
that's how I
kiss it,
fish.
Dave? Did you kiss it goodbye before you threw it in? That's what we do in Australia.
No, it kissed me really well. Thank you very much. I had a Band-Aid or two on it after I finished with that monster.
All right, Dave, ask anyone a question.
No, that's what I was going to ask David about fishing.
Yeah.
You ruined it. You ruined it.
Well, remember, Marty, you guys, once again, it does not have to be about a passive. I just want to loosen people up because we sit on webinars all week and we hear the same things over and over. I just kind of like to have interesting questions brought up. And Dave, I guarantee you, Dave's going to ask someone a very interesting question. I just
Yeah, but hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. David, have you ever caught a muskie?
No,
Oh.
no, I have not, but that's on my bucket list.
Oh, they're hard to catch. I mean,
Yeah.
My friend saw one eating out of a McDonald's bag that was floating in the water. There's some nasty guys, man. I heard they're a lot of fun to catch. So.
Yeah, well, and even northern pike can. I mean, I've been in the boat when I've never caught one this big, but my buddy brought one in that was 30 pounds, 32 pounds. something like that. It's yeah. So, and when we're ice fishing too, we catch a lot of bigger fish in the wintertime too. So anyway, I will ask my question, and as Judith Oliver has her hand up, I'm gonna ask her. Judith, I don't know you, so would you like to just introduce yourself and tell us where you're from?
Sure. I was raised in Virginia, lived in Virginia for, let's see, from 57 to 89, worked for the government for 22 years. And then I just kept thinking at the end there's got to be more to life. So I became an entrepreneur, opened up a gift shop. And then as the years went by, I joined some MLMs, became top of the company in a couple of them. They ended badly. And I had lots of people under me, but in one case, there was a quota. This was kind of the beginning of MLMs in a way, I think, network marketing. And I missed my quota by $60 because my daughter was in the hospital and almost died. So I lost 300 people and they put me back to consultant. And that was like the end of it. But then I joined one more and got to the top, worked my butt off, and lost that one. So then I went into wholesale marketing, and I've done a lot of different things in my life, but I'm so excited about OnPassive because it's just, it's a dream. I mean, it really is a dream. It's something that really is hard to believe, but I do believe it. And I'm really excited about it, very excited about it. It's going to change a lot of lives. And actually, the reason I had my hand up was I wanted to ask Key something about the health job that he has. I know he's in, I think he's a respiratory therapist, and I had some questions for him. So that's why I had my hand up, but thank you for asking, Dave, about me, because I finally got my picture up. Usually it's just my name. I got my picture. So next step will be a live picture, but it'll probably be a little bit longer. But so thank you for asking. And if I could ask Key some questions about the health industry, and if he's still there. I noticed his picture wasn't on there anymore.
I think Key's still here, Key?
Yeah, his name is there. I think he like stepped away from the computer for a bit. So
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, Judith, if he comes back here.
Oh, yeah. There he is.
Key. Oh, Key.
Are you there, Key? When he comes back, I can't see him.
Okay. Well, I'll catch him another time if not, but it was one,
okay.
This platform was good for asking something other than the OnPassive, and I've been wanting to ask him some questions about the health, what he's.
Don't you worry, if you're around for a little bit longer, then when Key comes back, we'll certainly come back to you, Judith, so you can get those questions answered. So it is a good platform to be able to do that.
All right. So thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing.
Sure.
Judith, you can ask a question. Anyone else still? We'll give you back to Key, but.
Oh, okay. Well, let me see. Willow. Willow, hello. Surprised you, huh? You're muted, honey.
Thank you very much.
Oh, well, I've been watching you for a long time, and I think we're about the same age possibly. And I know you are as excited as I am about this opportunity. And I just wanted to let you know that I've enjoyed everything that I've listened to. Now, what I might like to ask you is, what was your first job? What kind of industry have you been in?
Oh my God, girl, I'm 80 years old. My first job was, oh Lord. Well, I got in trouble from driving my dad's tractor to town without any oil in it. So he made me pay off that tractor. So I went to work for a local farmer, and I dug ditches and I plowed and I did all the things that the local boys did. And it got real old real fast. So next you know, my next step up was I went to work for the librarian in our local town. But I've had a really varied career. And like Ron Hulbert, I was in law enforcement with the state of California for numerous years. And I went to work for the government. And then I became, well, at that time they called us software specialists, but what we worked with computer science within, I worked at 3 Air Force bases, Tinker Air Force Base, McClellan Air Force Base, and Wright-Patt. And so my career with the government was for quite a few years. And the same with the state of California when I worked as a correctional counselor. I have a degree in too many degrees. I'm an educated idiot, but I am a psychologist, and I have a degree in silversmithing. If anybody needs some silver right now, we need to buy some silver is what we need to do. But I have been working since I was 14 years old. I don't know how not to work. Yeah, I put myself through college. I put myself through numerous other jobs that I wanted to make more money at, you know, and I always worked in the business where men were employed because it was the higher paid positions, you know, especially with Department of Corrections. I was on loan to the sheriff's office for a year in the state of California, and that was a very interesting experience. And Ron Hulbert is really, really excellent at defining the problems within the police department and what they have and how skeptical those men are because they see, and women, excuse me, everything bad in the world. And you tend to get very skeptical of people that tell you one thing because it's your job to see if they're lying or not. And I tell you what, it can get old. When I worked as a correctional counselor, my biggest problem was dealing with pedophiles. And of course, that was, you know, God has a way of making you get over your prejudice real fast. And so it took me a long time before I could adjust to that and having to deal with people that had that kind of background. But I as a person, I'm a counselor for battered women. And that is the job I have that is part of my heart that I can never lay down. And I'll probably be 95 years old, still doing the same counseling and still offering help to those. That's why OBLES is so important to me. I mean, it's the most important thing I think on OnPassive for me, especially because I have clients that I would give an arm and a leg to be able to help them and give them a hand up. Right. So that's what I'm looking forward to, darling. I hope that answered your question.
Oh, it does. You know, we have a very similar background. I was in computer science with the Navy. Yeah. And worked on the very first IBM.
I did too. McClellan Air Force Base. It was they had vacuum tubes, and it took up a whole, you know.
Well, I typed on the computer for an entire day. Yeah. And the next day I came in and it was erased. And I said, don't ever put that thing in front of me again. I will never type on it. And here we are, how many years later, you know, yeah. And I was married to the man that actually did COBOL compiling with the Navy. You know who I'm talking about. So we have got to get together and share all these.
Absolutely, ladies, definitely.
You know, it really helps us here with OnPassive though. You know, when people are talking about structure and laying out plans, you listen to Ash, you know what he's talking about. You know, he's working, coding and all that. We went through all of that from ground zero. So that gives us a leg up, you know.
That's right.
Try to figure out what Ash is saying. You have to be a genius, of course, you know, and read between the lines. But Judith, sure. I'm looking forward to knowing you better. You know,
you too. That you have. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Relay. That's amazing. And isn't it, you're just talking about like Judith just said about being afraid, you know, when computers and those sort of things first came in, it was like, oh my gosh, what is this? What am I doing? You know, like, how do I do this? What do I got to do? And I tell you just a very quick story with myself. When I first started on the computer, which was about 2007, so not, you know, a fair while ago, but not that long ago. But I had to get my children to write down all those abbreviation things, like what does LOL or BTW or BRB and all that sort of stuff. I had to ask my kids to write them down so I knew what people were talking about, because obviously, you know, people were more computer savvy than me, but I certainly have learned along the way. But Willow, I'd love to hear from you, whether you have a question for anyone on our panel today, because I think that you would come up with an amazing question.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of like Judith. I would like to talk to Key a little bit, but if he's not back, I can understand.
Yeah,
I think that there are some amazing women in OnPassive, and I don't mean to just, you know, disavow our lovely brother Marty and Chris and all Dan Street, who is so handsome. Good Lord. And there, you know, a lot of men are, I could, you know, put a question to. I think that I would like to ask some of the spectacular women that, like Lystra, she has a fantastic, I'm a psychic and I look at people's hearts and I always see what radiates from the inside out. And I would love to know, Lystra, what is it about OnPassive that drew you in and drew you to it in your heart?
Wow, Willow, thank you.
You're welcome. I love you already.
Well, you know, the thing is, I was really slow because a good friend who was in a business with me, she brought me into this while she was doing something with me. And I said to her, what are you doing? You're in business with me.
Oh my God.
Excuse me here. All right, go ahead, sweetie. Yeah, the granddaughter came to say goodnight. She's sleeping over tonight. Bye-bye. Okay, sweetie. Yeah, and then she says, I want you to look at this. And I said, but what are you doing? We're doing hair care and skin care. She says, well, this is what I've always wanted. I've been praying for this for all my life. I've been praying for something like this, and I have to share it with you. So then I said, okay. She says, I will send you a few videos for you to look at. And I said, sure. So she sent them, and I didn't really pay attention to them. I looked at them, but not wholeheartedly. But eventually she kept after me and she says, well, and I said, listen, I haven't really paid much attention, and I will. And I think I waited for 3 months, 4 months or so before I really looked at it and understood what it was all about. And then I thought, this really looks good. And I started to look into it more then. And I realized that this was nothing I'd ever seen before, because I was in quite a few, and yeah, I got burned as well, very badly, which is why I hemmed and hawed before I did anything there. But yeah, and since then, I've been trying to recruit more, not recruit. I'm sorry, Marty, to share. Trying to share more and more. And even some of the people who was in this hair care business with me, they won't have anything to do with it. Even though I've sent them videos and so on, they just won't. And that is my frustration, because I know that they can use this. I know that they would be great at it as well. You know, but yeah, it is something I've never seen before, and I love it. I love it. Like, I'm not sleeping as much as I used to. I go to bed 1:32 a.m. and then I'm up early in the morning, and you know, I post and so on. But a lot of people, I see them looking. I've had 2 people, one joined. The other one, he is still looking into it and he asked for more information. So I sent it all off for him and I'm hoping to hear from him soon. But oh my gosh, and I post on Facebook because I've got lots of friends on there. Lots of friends. I know that they can use this, that this will help them. So
Amazing.
that's my story.
Lystra,
You.
you have the most amazing voice and you do have a beautiful heart, because you are a friend of mine on Facebook and I see what you write each day and what you post. Willow, I don't know whether you have met up with Lystra on Facebook or have her as a friend, but she definitely shares some beautiful stuff. So thank you, Lystra. Thank you, Willow.
You're welcome, Noel, and thank you. She is my friend on Facebook. We see each other's posts all the time.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
beautiful,
And
beautiful
I love you.
postings.
I
Thank
love you,
you.
darling. I love your heart.
The heart
Oh.
connections are really important.
Thank you so much.
Brings a lot of
Your
balance.
turn, Lystra. It's your turn. Ask a question, Lystra.
Oh my gosh, I don't have a question.
You gotta, or I gotta fire you. Think of something. Come on. Ask Marty how big his feet are. Ask Marty how big his feet are.
Okay, let me think here. May I come back, please? I have to think of a
Wait,
question.
Lystra, I'll give you a question. Ask Harry, how many potato chips can he put in that mouth?
Yes, I've been looking at you. I've been looking at you. What are you eating and why are you eating so much?
Popcorn?
Popcorn, my favorite
Popcorn.
stuff. Okay,
Harry, if you
I
look
have
in
a
the chat, yeah,
for
if you look in the chat, Harry, we've been all asking, what the heck is Harry pounding in his mouth?
I was listening. And I wouldn't.
Harry, I thought you were on speed video.
Harry, you are in Canada as well.
Yes, that's correct. Not Southern Ontario, just south of Toronto.
Where is it from? Cobourg area.
I'm Simcoe.
I don't know where Simcoe is. I live here, but I don't know everything.
Simcoe, have you heard of Port Dover?
Yes.
I'm about 10 minutes away from there.
Okay, I've heard of it. I don't know where it is.
Very famous for Friday the 13th is Port Dover.
Oh, okay.
Hundreds of thousands of bikers.
Get on there.
Okay, so how is your sharing?
It's great. I got a fairly decent group. I've been in, actually this month it's 3 years since I've been in with OnPassive. And it took me, I can't remember which person said, about a year to actually click in. My sponsor, who unfortunately passed away last December.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
He got me involved with several businesses. And when he confronted me with OnPassive, the videos that Ash Mofara had at the beginning, the 2 videos, a little bit off the wall. And he kept telling me, look at the videos, look at the videos. Okay, I looked at the videos and I didn't really listen. And anyways, it took, he kept after me because after 3 businesses that he got me into, they all failed. And I go, yeah, okay. But he said, you can become a founder.
Right.
Well, I kind of like the sound of it. And I go, okay, I'll become a founder, pay my, my $97. But I still didn't really do anything with it. And he kept after me for quite a while. He contacted his team almost just about every day. I don't know if I should mention, his name's James Sloan. He's actually still on the leadership board, even though he's passed away. But anyways, he kept after me and he said, you know what? He says, you really gotta take it. So after a year, I really caught on. I go, this thing's really good. This could be really, explosive, huh? So I started, and when I caught on, I started talking to people all over the place, and I started getting people involved, shared with people. They got involved, but my history, most people turn away as soon as I walk up to them. They turn away because I've been literally since I was my first business was Amway, And that was when I was like 19 years old, 20 years old. I did really well with it. And of course, you know, how that goes.
Right.
Then I got into a business from Double Diamonds from Amway. Again, I don't know if I should mention names, Ken and Carol Makovic. They started Old World Products Incorporated. And I got into that and I started doing quite well with that. And of course, they changed policies, changed pay structure. The company went under. And then I went into Care International and on and on and on. Actually, since then, I've been in about 30 MLM companies. And that's why I've a little harder time when I approach people that I've known. And they see me, if I walk up to them, they go, oh, no, see you later. And but still, I managed to get a few of these friends of mine in. And
Good.
I have a small team, but still, I'm still working on it, right?
Well, I am too. Small team, but I'm out there. I'm trying. That's
Yeah.
all we can
I
do,
was in
right?
one business that I did extremely well with. I was earning a really good income. And unfortunately, one of the governors in the United States didn't like the CEO and he pushed this person down. And even to this day, there's still a lot of civil suits against them. They were deemed at first as the biggest Ponzi scheme in world history. And anyways, Supreme Court ruled them as non-Ponzi, but shady. But since then, the civil courts, civil lawsuits drained them out, huh? So
Right. Oh, there are a lot of those out there, a lot of them.
So, but you know what? Until now I know I found my home, but it's of course it would have been nice. It would have been nicer if it was sooner, you know, because
Exactly.
huge Canadian pension and
But we're in it now and we're in it to win it. So
we're
let's
so
move ahead.
in it to win it.
Let's move ahead with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Liz.
Harry. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
you, Harry. I think
And
you're talking about like pyramid schemes and things like that, that most people say no to any opportunity, and their way of saying no is it's a pyramid scheme or it's a scam before they've even looked. You know, people are just that way. They've been programmed that way to think automatically that it's a negative and that they come from a place of fear because they've been ripped off or scammed before. So I think it's trying to break that cycle of thinking, which is not going to be easy to do. But like you said, even with smaller teams, those people are the people who were visionaries and certainly saw you know, the vision of our CEO, Mr. Ashma Farah. So Harry, would you like to ask a question to anyone on the panel? I'm sure there's a question burning inside of you with that popcorn.
You know, actually, there was a couple of questions, different people, but Narelle, I'm kind of, you're from Australia, and I hear that Australia is one of the most, some of the most dangerous creatures and animals and insects in the world. Now, I've heard about this little tiny snail. I don't know what it's called, but apparently has a spike and it likes setting itself on beaches. If you step on it, it'll paralyze you and all that. Do you know what snail I'm talking about?
No, love, I don't. I've never heard about that. And
Yep.
I'm a born and bred Australian, a true Aussie Sheila, you know, but I've never heard about that snail. But I can tell you about the 12, you know, deadliest snakes in the world, and we have the top 12.
Is that right? And what about sharks? Is there a lot of shark attacks?
There is a lot of shark attacks. Where Yvonne Mackett lives on the west coast of Australia, if you have a look at my picture over there, is the west coast. Sorry, it's all back the front. They have, you know, beautiful beaches, and a lot of our beaches aren't protected, like from, say, lifeguards and things like that. You know, there's some wild beaches out there. Like I said, if you visited one every year, it would take you 27 years to actually visit every beach in Australia. So that's a long time. There's a lot of beaches, but shark attacks are they come and go. You know, I think they like taking solicitors and and things like that. But yeah, no, look, you take a risk. You're going to go in where there's no help, you know, always take somebody with you, because if you're going to get taken, at least you've got somebody to run for help. They're pretty aggressive. They're pretty big. You know, the sharks over here, I don't know about the sharks over there. I've never really looked it up, but you know, you can look at a 5 to 6 meter long shark. I think they're called something white.
Sharks. White.
Something white. Yeah,
maybe bull shark. Bull
sharks are really
yeah,
big, is what I hear. Huh?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
We have a river here, Swan River.
Yeah.
Sonya's
from Western Australia as well. No, it's okay, Sonia. Thank you.
Sorry.
But we have, you know, spiders and things like that. Huntsman's the size of dinner plates sometimes, but they're really not going to hurt you. They really are quite okay.
Yeah,
and the thing is, what I've always learned is great white. Yeah, that's the shark. Thank you, Yvonne. You know, the spiders can be big. We have redback spiders. There's a song, you know, there was a redback on the toilet seat when I was there last night. I didn't see it in the dark, but boy, I felt its bite. I jumped so high up into the air that when I hit the ground, that nasty redback spider was nowhere to be found. Now, they're not talking about being inside in your toilets. That was a song that came from what they call the old Thunderbox, the outhouse, which I spoke about the other day. Because most of the time, you know, we grew up as kids, we didn't have a toilet inside. Mum and Dad were dairy farmers and you had to go outside. Well, you never did that at night by yourself, not as little kids, you know, so it was a Thunderbox. You went out the outhouse, and spiders, yeah, even during the day, you didn't really want to go there. So, but spiders, yeah, you know, but the thing is, everybody thinks that they live inside our houses. And yeah, we have daddy longlegs. Daddy longlegs is one of the deadliest spiders in the world, and would kill you with just a drop. The thing is, they're like that paper thin. They couldn't bite you anyway. They can't pierce your skin, you know, so but they're one of the deadliest in the world, you know, daddy longlegs. We have them around. They're in the bathroom at the moment, you know. I just say g'day boys or girls, and you know, that's just the way it is. Sometimes they come inside. Same with huntsmen. But Australia is a very big country, and no, we do have a lot of deadly stuff, but please come and visit us. Honestly, we won't feed you to the sharks unless you know, do wrong. Maybe I should start saying that.
I actually have
the sharks if you don't join OnPassive.
I actually have an aunt just outside of Sydney through my wife, because my wife's Filipina, right? But she works for airline or something like this. But we never have a chance to go visit. And actually right now it's a pretty hard time to visit. You know, it's
you can't get into Sydney at the moment anyway. It's all in lockdown. So, but Harry, I noticed that you drink some lovely wines. I see you drinking wine. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, I want to share something with you about Australia. So there are 60 designated wine regions in Australia, producing approximately 1.35 trillion bottles of wine per year.
No way. You know, I drink a lot of Australian wine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so we have a lot of wine producers over here, a lot of vineyards, especially down south where it's a little bit cooler than up north here, but certainly an interesting country. So thank you for asking me that question today and finding out a little bit more about Australia. But honestly, you just need to come because it's one of those countries. It's magnificent. You know, I'm 60 years old. I've never had a passport in my life. And one of the reasons is I've never traveled is because I've never really needed to. You know, Australia is so different right from the outback to the different beaches and areas of Australia right up north. The one place I haven't been is up north. I'd like to go into the Aboriginal communities, not just the tourist route. Do you know what I mean? I was married to an Aboriginal and I have 2 Aboriginal daughters, and it really had meant a lot to me. He is now my ex-husband, but that doesn't mean anything less about the culture. But I'd love to go into the communities and really sort of just learn about what they do for, you know, how they survive, where they get water from the plants, what they eat, you know, the widgety grubs and things like that. You may find that some of those who have been what do you call it? Put into society without really sort of being asked, but the real communities of Aboriginals still live in their tribal land, on their tribal land. So it would be really good to sort of learn more about that, I think, and not just from your textbooks or, so my ex-husband was an Aboriginal artist. He was a dot painter. He painted on timber. He did some beautiful pieces. We got, did shows in art galleries and things like that. So we went throughout schools and taught cultural awareness to many children in schools. We did murals on school walls and things like that. So it's a really big part of my life, and I've always brought my children up to be proud. Sorry, I get emotional there. Proud of who they are, both cultures, because my ancestry is German Polish. So yeah, I think it's really important to sort of know where you come from and be proud of who you are. So thank you for asking me those questions, and I've gone on too much. So I'm going to ask another question. So thank you, Harry. But come over and, all the wine's here for you.
I really would. I look forward to it.
Just don't go swimming with the sharks when you've had a couple.
No, like, I'll pass on that, yeah.
Thank you. I'd like to actually ask Sonia, and I do see your hand up again, Judy, so I know Key is back. I'd just like to ask Sonia first, Chris, if that's okay.
Hey, it's your show, lady.
No, it's not. Oh, sorry. Sonia, if you would please, I just want to know, the question for you is, I know that you have come from around Croatia. I know that you lived through some terrible times, and we don't want to make this about the negatives of what people have come through, but is there something that you can share with us that will just give us a strength of what you may have gone through to show others that, life is different for everyone? So I'd really like you to open up your mic. If you can put your camera on, that's great. If you can't, please just come forward and talk. Sonia?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Thank
If
you.
I can, I just want to say about that snail which can kill a human. It's called cone snail.
There you go, coal snail.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. But
Sonia?
yes, so it's hard to say. Like even during war, you try to live normal life as much as possible. Like now, when we live in COVID, it is the same. I think I go around my business knowing that everything that comes my way will be gone one day. And if you have a focus on something, just keep focus on whatever situation you are in. There is always something you can explore and go for it. It is what we say to ourselves, I think. Like many excuses, oh, situation is bad, people is bad, da, da, da. But look in your heart and decide for yourself. And no matter what circumstances are, just go for it. Don't deny yourself great opportunities, because they are everywhere. They're everywhere around us, and it's coming from believing in ourselves. It is so easy. Just don't be negative.
Yeah. Sonia,
Yes,
just tell me one more thing, please.
Yeah.
I know that, the love of your family is very big. A lot of your family are in Croatia and Romania, I think it is. Tell me, after you've filled your pockets and done what you needed to do, what is that one big thing that you would like to do?
I would love to help people, to help myself, to get rid of the mortgage and pay my student loan. And then I would love to help people, because I know there are some of them stuck, especially disabled, let's say war veterans, or very old people, or orphans.
Yeah.
Circumstances are not good for them. Some of them are too early in their life. Some of them are too old. Some of them don't have legs, hands, eyes.
Yeah.
So I would love to help those ones.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sonia. That's a
Thank you so
beautiful
much.
heart.
Thank you.
Now, would you like to ask a question to anyone on the panel? I know that we've got Judith and Willow were wanting to ask Key some questions, but we will come back to that just before we finish off. So we'll just give a few more people a little bit of an opportunity to speak. So Sonia, is there a question that you'd like to ask of anyone on the panel?
No, I don't know too many people.
You
And
don't
I'm
have
very
to know
bad at asking questions. All right. If Ivonne is online, I would love to ask her. She came to this country as a migrant, just like me. And what does to share with us encouragement and put some lights into our thoughts. What has been kept her moving ahead? Because I know she arrived to Australia with 4 children. Must be very hard to leave family, everything behind. So Ivonne, what kept you going?
Are you there, Yvonne? I'm
No.
just gonna pick up at the moment.
No, that's okay.
Come on, guys. Yvonne. Yvonne might have fallen to sleep.
She left. Narelle, she's gone.
She's gone.
Okay.
That's okay. Maybe someone else can ask a question, but thank you.
I think she said she was going to the bathroom and she saw a snake. She said, I'm out of here.
She traveled last night from Northern Territory and back into Perth, which takes her back about an hour and a half in time, but it's, you know, probably a 3 or so hour flight. But she was up till all hours of this morning. So we just appreciate and love on her today because, oh, look out, she's back.
I've been here all the time. I'm so sorry. I just couldn't find the app while I was showing someone a message that I got from someone this morning. So I couldn't find you. Hello.
Did you hear the question from Sonia?
Sonia. No,
Sonia?
sorry, I missed the question.
No, it's okay. I can ask you. I know you arrived here as migrant with 4 children. I arrived as migrant and I didn't have children. You know, having children must be really hard moving to a new country. I want to ask you some encouragement, what keeps you going and to put such a beautiful smile on your face all the time?
The sunshine? No, I'm a very positive person, so I always find the positive in everything. But I actually moved to Australia for the sunshine, and I don't know, I just love life. So coming over with 4 young children, I don't know. I have my husband to rely on, I suppose, but I'm not quite sure, really. I just absolutely love the sunny weather, and it always put a smile on my face. And I always think, I don't know. My friend's here with me, but it's hard. I don't know. I'm always enjoying a good, you know. Yeah, I like to travel. I like to meet other people, meet new people. I'm a bit of a social butterfly, really, to say the least. But
that's the hairdresser coming out in you.
Yes, yeah. Bringing 4 young children over with me was, I don't know, I didn't find it hard at all. Like when I decided I wanted to go somewhere hot, I could have chose Spain, couldn't I, from England, but I chose the other side of the world where I only knew one person. So we got up and we left the UK. We sold our house, our cars, left our jobs and just came over. We only knew that one person. It took 6 months to find a job. My husband to find a job, and then that's when I started, you know, looking, meeting people, doing hairdressing, earning money, and then joining a network marketing company. So this is really where it all came, and I was always trying. So 30 years I've been in network marketing, and have I made it? No. Did I nearly get a car? Yes, but then something happened to those people and it dropped me back. So it never worked for me. So that's why OnPassive actually jumped out at me. So, but yeah, sorry, your question. What was the question? It was how do I keep positive, or?
Yes.
I don't know. Through everything, I'm not sure, because I always, I don't know, just keep grasping onto all the positive things in life. I mean, I've had so much crap go on in my life, believe me, that I keep keep thinking there's got to be, you know, a light at the end of the tunnel. And guess what? We found it.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, the love of OnPassive just keeps me just on fire. Really does. I love it. And you know what? This morning, I was on the plane and I had Wi-Fi, and just very quickly, I just want to say this, if you don't mind. I sent a lady that I hadn't spoke to in a few years. It was an acquaintance I met somewhere, and you know, from 2017, and I sent her a message out the blue, and I said, hey, you know, I'm doing a presentation tonight. I'd love you to jump on. This may help your future. I'm not sure what you're doing now, but you know, I would like to give you this opportunity. And she sent me the awfulest message. Said, well, I haven't heard you for that long, and you're trying to sell me a dodgy pyramid scheme? And then she blocked me. How
Well,
upsetting
I
is that?
reckon,
I'm gonna do a live
I reckon
today.
that is the best
I'm
block
gonna
you've
do a
ever
live
had,
about her.
because that lady will one day look at you very soon and go, oh my gosh, I blocked Yvonne and I was very rude to her. You know, so
Yeah, well,
remember that not
I wrote
everybody
a lovely
is here.
message. I wrote a
Yeah.
lovely message, and I said, you know what, just because I don't write to you often, because I've got a very busy life, I'm you know, always flying somewhere, looking after kids and working and what have you. I've got a whole lot of stuff going on. I said, it doesn't mean I care less about you because I don't contact you. It's just that I saw your name and I thought, oh, this would be a nice opportunity to share with her. That was it. So I'd done it through caring, you know, nothing else. I said to her, it's no skin off my nose.
No.
I said, I just would love to give you that opportunity, but never mind, it's not for you. Bye.
See you later.
Anyway, sorry,
Yvonne, thank you
Sonia,
for
we will
sharing.
catch up. Sonia,
Yeah,
we will catch
and-
up now. I'm in Perth, and
No.
I've got to go because I've got to get a data
Thank you.
dongle so I can do my live.
No problem.
Okay.
Thank
Love
you.
you all.
Do you have a quick question before you go?
Oh,
somebody?
let me see. Let me see very quickly. Has anyone got anyone? Let's have a look. Oh,
Ask Judith, since she has her hand up, what color nail polish she has on.
What color are shoes?
What color underwear are you wearing? No, sorry.
I know Marty's is
Oh my
pink.
God.
Marty's
You would die to the answers of both. First of all, I don't wear nail polish and I have natural
I
nails.
thought you were going to say you don't
No
wear it.
gels. And underwear, I have my pajamas on. So you know, you can just imagine.
Love
Let's
it.
have a look.
That's all
I'm
right,
not
Yvonne.
sure who we got. David Pickle, Australia. How are you?
David Pickett. Where is he?
Australia in the house. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not there. No, he's gone.
Hi.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
Oh, you are there. Hello. How
I'm here.
are
I'm
you?
just good. I'm actually working from home, so I've got this in the background. And then all of a sudden I heard my name. I thought, oh, I better come on. But yeah, no, really well, thanks.
Good. Just a quick question. I'm not really sure what I'm going to say, but are you I'm blank.
No,
I
I'm
don't know
not.
what I'm going to
Are you blank?
Are you blank? No. Are you building a team with OnPassive? Are you just going to be passive, or are you building? Sorry, I just wanted to.
No, that's fine. It's funny because yes, I started off being passive, and then, as I say, it gets in your blood, and you get very excited about it, and you start talking to different people, and before you know it, you've got half a dozen people in your team, and it's quite funny. Even my wife is a teacher, and she's talks to a lot of disgruntled teachers at the moment, and they're wanting a way out. And she said, come and join OnPassive, and half the team are ex-teachers, or hopefully soon to be ex-teachers. So,
Oh, awesome.
yeah.
That's amazing. All right,
Yeah.
thank you. I just wanted to touch
No,
base with
that's
another
okay.
Australian on here because there's not many of us. So
No, we're trying to fly the flag, but it's a big country and it's a it's a bit hard.
It
Yeah,
is,
that's right.
David, it is.
But,
Chris, if you don't mind me sharing, and I know Dave, just to make sure that David is aware. Sorry.
Narelle, 1 second. I want to get Judith asking Key because Key might have to go real quick. So
okay, yeah, cool.
Judith.
Yes, okay. Well, I don't mean to get too serious here because it's been fun and funny. And I'll try not to, but Key, first of all, I'd like to say that I admire and respect you for what you're doing. And that I have COPD, and I know you're a respiratory therapist, and I'm wondering the COVID patients that are coming in, is it as much respiratory as it used to be, or has the variant changed it? Is he listening? Oh, there.
Yeah, Judith, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Are you in the States?
I am. I'm in Florida.
Okay. You guys are getting hit kind of hard right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have what's called anytime anybody has a disease process, we call it a comorbidity, and COPD and COVID don't go very well together.
Right.
If you understand.
I already had COVID, by the way, and I survived it, but I'm just curious whether the variant has changed it.
Actually, we're seeing variants, has changed it a little bit. We're seeing a lot younger people having problems now. I mean, in the last, what is today? Today's Wednesday. In the last 7 days, I've put probably 5 people on mechanical ventilators less than 40 years old, 40 to 50.
Right.
And we shipped one out to, family wanted her in New York, and I don't anticipate her surviving. The biggest comorbidity that we've been seeing, that I have seen personally, the most trouble is diabetes. If you're diabetic, that population of people just don't seem to do very well.
Yeah.
And I'd kind of like to keep this lighthearted and fun.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Where are you?
I'm in North Carolina.
Because I'd like to know, how many people do you actually work with? Are you in a hospital setting?
Yeah, I'm in a hospital setting. Yeah.
Is there any way we can all reach out, or I can reach out and help in any way? Because I know these people have to be very stressed. And I'm just wondering, can we send notes of encouragement or thank yous or anything to kind of keep them going?
I mean, I appreciate the sentiment. I mean, everybody is stressed and everybody's pretty tired, and we just had a girl she couldn't take it anymore. She just quit. I think we're going to see in the end result and all this, I think we're going to see a lot of healthcare professionals probably going to need some counseling and post-traumatic stress disorders and all kinds of stuff. I actually got involved in OnPassive. I've been in the medical field for 32 years, and I got involved in OnPassive to get out. I was involved in some other things with a gentleman you may recognize. His name was Fred Langswager, however he pronounces it. But anyway, Fred and I were buddies, and he shared OnPassive with me. And I was actually out of work at the time. I had fallen and hurt my shoulder, had surgery, and sitting around on my duff, not doing anything. And reached out to Fred, but and I've shared OnPassive with a lot of people that are disgruntled, and just like Ron talking about police officers and school teachers and everything else. And even though they're disgruntled, and you show them OnPassive and a way out, and they're I've had a couple that have come on board with me and a lot that don't. But I'm on Facebook, and if anybody that has my contact information, Judith, you're welcome to reach out to me. As far as what you can do, just support your community that you live in. I mean, you know, you can go down to the hospital or find an administrator and, you know, I don't know, just, I think everybody knows that we're in this together. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, my next door neighbors who have been my next door neighbors since 69, both of them currently have COVID and they're elderly. And I just found out this morning as I was coming home from work that they had to take the gentleman to the hospital. So, but yeah, just, you know, I think everybody knows we're all in this together. I mean, I am seeing a big increase. Like one of the hospitals is a 150 bed hospital in the next town over from where I live. And out of 150 beds, they have 70 COVID positive patients. So almost half of the hospital is COVID. And out of those 70 patients, 69 of them were unvaccinated and one was vaccinated.
Well,
So,
yeah. And we don't want to get into that because everybody's got their own opinion about that.
That's what I was going to say, but you know,
yeah.
We are seeing increase in numbers, and it right now seems to be worse than what it was in March of 2020. So,
yeah.
But you
All
can
right,
find me
well,
on Facebook, and like, you know,
yeah.
if I can share anything else, I'll be glad to.
Yeah, and I just
think
really
it's-
wanted to say thank you, and I appreciate you, and
Well, thank you.
wish you the best and stay
Thank
safe.
you.
and
Thank you
healthy.
so much.
I think as Key said, you know, support your local community, you know, those who are in the middle of everything, you know, just support on those that are close to you and those who are community workers, you know, whether it be police, fire, doctors, nurses, everything like that. We all need to show more love in those situations. Doesn't matter what your beliefs are, you just get out there and show some more love. So, so thank you, Key, for answering Judith's question and coming back to us. And I, you know, thank you, Judith, for being here today. I really appreciate that. Chris, if you don't mind me sharing a little bit of Australia before we end up, I just want to let you know that Australia does have webinars twice a week. We are OnPassive Aussie Girls and a Kiwi Guy. Team Australia is on a spring break, so they're not having webinars at present, but Yvonne and myself and Kenton Patterson from New Zealand are running webinars, and our tonight, Thursday night, which will be your very early morning. We're not expecting founders to come along and necessarily support. We're really trying to get Australia and New Zealand known and get guests along, or any of you, if you do have anybody in Australia and New Zealand that you do know, please send them along to our webinars. Reach out, we can send you the link. You know, we're there to support everybody in Australia. We only have a handful over here out of 25.8 million people. We're the last two countries to find out about OnPassive. So David, please reach out to Yvonne and myself if you haven't got that link, if you are able to attend this evening's webinar, or the link will be the same for Monday mornings as well. So yeah, just to let you know that, you know, you can bring guests along. It's a short presentation, a Q&A. We only go for an hour, you know, because Australians, they don't want to sit for any longer than that. They don't want to even sit for 15 minutes, but you know, we get out there and we just share, so people can come along. We do lives, Yvonne and myself do lives, you know, to sort of prep people up into that. But it is very difficult over here, but we just take the positives, like Yvonne said, and just keep moving along and staying positive, and know that the right ones will get in, and the others, well, it's not like they weren't told. So but thanks, David. If you like I said, reach out if you haven't got those details. And for anyone who does have founders here in Australia, I think Bruce Gerstein has about three or four here in Australia. So reach out, because like I said, Team Australia is having a spring break, so they're not doing their webinars for the next couple of weeks. So if you didn't read that, then that's what's happening. So thank you all. Chris, have you got anything to say? I was going to ask Marty, but I think Marty was on the phone there. He was sort of swinging away. I thought he may have rocked himself to sleep.
He, what it is I told Marty that he had to start exercising. I told him to start doing laps. So I think in his mind, he's running around the block like this. He's going back and forth. So that's what I think.
He does that when he's on the phone. Hey, it must be a real thought, really into it.
His fingers are running.
Only his fingers are running.
Hey, the fingers.
Hi, he's taking a picture. Hi.
Oh, hey, Marty, ask us to smile.
Come here.
You
No,
always
I
get
think
that
that's
picture
it.
where you're looking different directions, but yeah.
I think I'm going to turn the recording off. Or Marty. Oh, geez, he's fired again. My God, I got to fire him. It's not even the next day. Anyway, we're 10 minutes past. I want to thank David